such a sunny day when nothing's in our way. Take my hand.
I'm that person where people are like, "You seen Seinfeld?" I'm always like, "No." They're like, "What?"
Yeah. Or Friends. He's never seen Friends either. So he has no sense of humor.
It's hilarious how sensitive people get when you don't see the movie or show. I'm that person. I'm like, "You haven't seen Avatar?"
You are that person, yeah. And to be fair, I haven't seen Avatar.
Well, we just saw Avatar 2, Way of the Water, which blew our minds.
It
last
was
night.
so good. I felt like I was a magical fish person living in this beautiful dreamland.
Yeah, when the fish scene happens,
Yeah.
they're underwater, you're like, "Blah." That's like my catchphrase of today.
It's like how you call the fishes, too. As an Avatarian.
Oh, my God! Ah!
Oh, such a sunny day when nothing's in our way.
Thanks, Dano!
Take my hand and we'll get lost together.
Thanks, Dano!
So this is our first podcast.
So we're going to have some bumps in the road.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Such as...
Ollie spazzing out.
Such as all of our equipment falling down
We
and
both-
injuring ourselves.
Oh, my God! Ah! We both just agreed not to have Ollie on the bed.
He is really cute, but
A little bit of a spaz.
a little bit of a spaz.
So
yeah.
this morning we gave him CBD accidentally because Tyson, our other dog, takes CBD because he's an old man. He's like 14. And Jackie gave him CBD and he was like flopping everywhere.
You can probably tell from how he screamed and ran off the couch earlier that he had a lot of CBD this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like THC or like meth or something.
I'm doing cricket feet.
I'm so sorry. How is your leg now?
It's okay as long as I can keep doing cricket feet.
Oh my God. Cricket feet is where you rub your legs up and
Like
down.
on your feet or like on the sheet.
We saw Avatar last night.
We did. We already talked about it.
Way
but
of the
yeah.
Water.
We
And
did.
I think I'm in a bit of a delayed, slower response because I got very eager and excited before seeing the movie. And I went outside and smoked an entire joint of this cannabis that's very strong to the point where when we went in and watched the previews, like before the movie, we were all, like the previews were all in 3D and they were like ultra AVX. And at one point I turned to Jackie like midway through the movie being like, "What did I say to you?"
You okay? He was so high that it was like his body weighed 400 pounds and was all glued together. So he just like, he was like watching the watching the previews, just staring ahead. I just watched him. And then all of a sudden his whole body, like it was like, he doesn't have a head. He has an entire turning body and he just looked at me like this. And he had the stupid 3D glasses on and he's like, "Are these previews amazing?" And then just slowly turned back
I was
to
like,
be in awe.
Are you feeling how high I feel right? Jackie didn't smoke anything.
No.
But I thought for some reason that the Super Mario trailer that was highly psychedelic,
Yeah.
she was experiencing something. Because you get by proxy high. Like if ever I smoke any weed.
I basically just get so excited that everyone's being weird so then I can be weird too. So that's by proxy high. I know I'm not high, but I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Genuinely, Jackie is high all the time. And she suppresses it with this lens of sobriety that...
It's true. Because it's easy to be high. You just have to be like, mm. You just have, that's how you be high.
the slow turns. I don't
Yo,
know
these
what...
previews are amazing or what?
Yeah, what? Like, I don't know what about
what?
the cannabis gave me, like, Batman neck,
Yeah,
where I had to,
yeah.
like, turn like this.
You
like
didn't
Michael
have
Keaton.
a neck or arms. You were just one cylinder of weight.
Is this real life?
Or what?
Or what? So, in this episode, we're talking about dating.
Speaking of, we went on a date last night.
Last night was date night. We've
Yeah.
been actively trying to do date night more often.
Yeah.
What were you so excited about?
Date night. Because I realized date night's very important.
It
and people
is.
will tell you that, but you don't actually know date night's really important until you don't have date night.
That's true.
And then you realize
It's like legs. Date night is like different parts of your body. If you don't have it, if you don't use it, you lose it.
you lose it.
Yeah.
You do lose it. Like our first date night was really weird and awkward because we hadn't been on it. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what was
I'm
our
just
first date
kidding.
night
I'm
in
just
the...
kidding.
No, but
I'm
we
kidding.
were weird. We went
No,
out for dinner. We went out for sushi.
And we felt like we'd never been in public before ever in our lives.
Quick
we were
to
like, I love sushi.
Oh my god.
People.
Yeah, it was like the evil parents let the children out for the first time, and we were in society.
And we were both the evil parents and the children.
Yeah, we both were the discipliner and the disciplinee. And we so much so that we were looking at other people on their dates
Yeah.
and being like, is this how normal people
Yeah.
date? They're just like sitting casually
Yeah.
across from each other,
Talking.
and we're so like
Yeah, we have our brains move fast and our eyes move fast.
And
We're
our
just kind of like,
and our
we're-
bodies move stiffly.
yeah. So we went on a date
Yeah.
for date night because we decided that date night was very important.
It is.
Because I was feeling like I was like, when are we going to prioritize our relationship? And then I started to get sad. And then I realized, oh, that's why people do date night.
Yeah, we've been dating for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I think the key to having a good relationship is consistent
Connection.
connection. And date nights are
Yeah.
really good for that.
Yeah. And like special connection. Like you watch a movie at the end of the night and that's wonderful, but it's not really like
It's not.
you're going out and like experiencing something with the other person, which is super important in a relationship.
I think there's also the idea that we just hang out all the time. So
Yeah.
we just assume that it's like date day every day.
Yeah.
But because we're not prioritizing a romantic connection, it
Yeah.
doesn't actually count.
And we are together all the time.
All the time.
Every single minute of the day.
So much so that
we actually are always touching in some way. Sorry if you're watching this and you can see my toes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's disgusting.
Do you know Jackie? Has anyone reached out about your toes? Because Jackie is a viral sensation on the internet because of her toes.
So is Zach.
Yeah.
This is okay. So going back to dating,
Yeah.
we actually bonded over people's love of our feet,
Which
on
is
our
so weird.
on our second date.
So weird.
Yeah, but it's nice to have a connection.
It is, especially with weird people having weird fetishes about you.
Yeah,
Who would have
it
thought?
really brings you together.
We trauma bonded
We
in that
trauma
moment
bonded.
because I
Oh,
felt
you trauma bonded. I like that people like my feet.
you do.
No, I don't care.
It's so you don't. I was
But
so
I-
weirded out. Someone messaged me because there was a video of me cross-legged, and someone took a still of that. You can Google it. If you Google Zach Ramlin, there's a photo of me and my cross-legged feet, and there's just my disgusting base of my foot in the camera.
It's sexy.
I didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you're
'cause it's so
probably you're
sexy.
probably foot fetish 69, aren't you? And this person messaged me and they're like, swear word, drooly emoji, F, I want to suck on those toes, is what they said to me.
That is quite forward.
It's so forward.
Yeah,
And the drooly emoji is such a graphic emoji.
it really is.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, is this person like feeling themselves while messaging me this
And I just like it's not even
with
that
their
it's
toes?
yeah, it's not even that it's like your feet. It's like if anyone sent that about any part of your body, like, ugh, I want to suck on those kneecaps. Like,
yeah,
what is
yeah,
that?
anything. I want your weenus in my mouth now.
Okay, well that was
It's just a body part. Okay, or your forearms or
Yeah.
like fingers, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit, but. But back to
But
date
listen,
night.
if you have a foot fetish,
No
please,
judgment.
Yeah, please practice your foot fetish. Love your foot fetish.
But don't message,
don't message
us.
people about their toes, especially when they're not trying to. Now, mine was a little bit of a different circumstance.
Because
Because
Jackie forwardly put her story
I did.
out.
I put my toes on the internet in a beautiful way. So
How many views does that video have?
like 200,000 or something.
Yeah, it was a TikTok video that went viral
Yeah.
because she was trying to be fun and funny, but she's clearly very sexy in this video with her toes.
Well, yes, it was a joke that me and my best friends had, and at that point nobody followed me on TikTok.
What was the
so
joke?
It was just okay, back to weed. We were super high one night and we were watching a drive-in movie. So all of our feet were like in front of the drive-in movie and it was like the sun was setting and we played this like sad music and like I wiggled my toes and we like took a video of it. So then that joke just kept going. Like we did it again and it was just like for some reason we thought it was so funny that it's like these toes like in this beautiful but it's just toes.
That
like
is pretty funny.
yeah, it's funny. So then I made this video, which is like sensual, kind of.
It's very sensual.
I'm in pajamas,
It's
but
probably the beginning of some porno.
I'm toe dancing. Like I'm like doing like it to the music. I'm moving my toes, and then I was like I sent it to my friends who we had the joke with, and I was like, should I post it? And they were like, yeah. So we posted it. But I had no followers. Like I had like 10 followers on TikTok or whatever. And it was all my friends. So I was like, whatever. And then I went to sleep. Nothing happened. And I woke up and I was just like, uh-oh. I
went viral.
And it was so...
How many views did you have when you woke up?
I don't remember, but it was the comments. It was like, you're worth more than this. Or like
people thought you were degrading.
Yeah, people were really... And then some people were just being gross. And then other people were like...
Did you have any
hating on
drooly
me.
emojis?
I don't know. We'll have to go through the comments
That'd
one day.
be really fun.
Anyway, so we bonded over our toe stuff on our second date.
Second date.
We did want to talk about dating today.
Yes, and finding connections with people in 2023 because dating's even changed within the last 2 years. Like from the time we've met till now, everything's kind of changed within that ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard because like you talk to someone who's older who's already in a relationship, be like, oh, how do I date? And they're like, well, you go to the grocery store, you both put your hand on the banana and you grab it together. And that's how I met your mother.
Or you do it at work, but like fucking everyone's working from home.
No one goes to work.
Yeah. And we don't like go to the mall or anything. Like how are
we
we
should maybe start going to the mall. That's maybe where we should start making friends. Just going to the mall like we're in grade 8 and I'm going to have my skater hair again, drink like Monster Energy drinks.
Slushies and like
and
have our parents, did you do that? Have your parents trail behind you? Did you ever do that?
I never had the mall life. I was this little bubble boy.
Sorry. Okay, well my friends and I would get like money from our parents and then we'd like go to the mall, but our parents would walk behind us. So we were like alone, but we weren't.
That's probably what like Justin Bieber feels like with his like bodyguard behind him.
That's true, yeah.
We're as famous. So your parents would just be behind you.
Yeah, just following us, just to make sure we didn't
even
get, like,
on dates. Would you
murdered.
go on a date with like your boyfriend, your skater boyfriend?
No, I don't think our parents were there for when we started like dating.
So dating has changed though.
It has. You can't go to the mall.
You can't do the mall.
Well, you can,
but it's like
weird.
The only means to an end for finding a connection at this point is like the internet, or there's the odd chance that I don't know what you go to a bar.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe in like university and college it can be a little bit easier, but I'm assuming people in that sense still use dating apps. It's like there's the fast track. You know what it is? It's the parallel to social media. Mm-hmm. Social media is this element where we can connect with people and be social, but then we're never fucking social because we're always on social media. And it's the same goes for dating. We're never actually dating because we're talking about dating so much.
And we have too many options.
Oh my God.
Like I don't know if you found this, but when you started going on, when I first went on Hinge, I was like, what am I even looking for? Like, there's every kind of person on that app. And you're just like back in the day, you were like part of a community and you usually met that person. So you knew
the
you
mall.
had common interests such as the mall.
West 49.
And such as school.
Yeah.
Common interests.
You talk about your math homework.
Yeah.
And you both have to study it, Oh, we got to study for the science quiz.
Yeah, should we do?
Do you want to come sneak in my window? Stare at my feet? We're both from Arkansas.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then you go on the internet and you're like,
there's so many options.
And I could change my location to anywhere, which I did at one point. Changed it to like Costa Rica. And I was like,
maybe my dream man's there.
That's exactly what I thought. And then I changed it and I was like, my dream man's in Costa Rica.
What the
Sorry. They're very attractive people there.
The Costa Ricans or the surfer boys?
Both.
It's
both.
Being able to change your geography or your destination to where you are for dating is so dangerous.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's the selection like in New York City? And then you do it, you're like, oh, this is really good. Yeah.
What are we, cattle?
No,
what's
we're like grocery
like
shopping.
In New York City?
So that's how you find your cattle?
Get your prime rib.
Yeah, black English.
It's a blue river at the county fair.
I don't know what you said, but yes. So the climate has changed.
It's changed.
And I found it increasingly difficult because not only do you have more selection, but then you go, maybe I'm not in the Hinge mood. Maybe I'm looking for more like a Bumble type relationship or a Tinder type relationship. And those different apps have different styles of relationships. So now you have triple the amount of selection.
Totally.
Did you have all 3 apps at once or 2?
Never Tinder, but I did have Bumble.
And Hinge?
Bumble and Hinge, yeah.
Did you ever have a time where you actually found the person twice? That's happened to me.
Yes. Yes. Did you match with that person?
Both times.
Oh, Mr. Big Shot over here.
That's right. That's right. And it was like, what kind of relationship are you looking for? Are you looking for a Tinder relationship, or is this a Hinge relationship?
Yeah.
Do you want to just hook up, or
Yeah.
do you want to actually have something meaningful?
Yeah, because every app brings something different. Tinder's the most hooker-uppy.
Yeah, hooker-uppery.
Hooker-uppery. Bumble is kind of a midway point.
Yeah.
You got both. You could something good could come, but you could also just hooker-uppery.
Yeah.
And I feel like Hinge is definitely more like, I am putting effort into finding a potential partner. That's what I think, anyways.
You are.
Yeah.
It's more committed.
It's more committed because there's so many like in Tinder you just like fucking throw up a bunch of photos and you write your bio like I'm sick as fuck and then people match with you, but on Hinge you have to like what's my favorite meal and then like write it down and then like
Are you spiritual?
Yeah.
Now
Do
it's
you
even
smoke?
Do you smoke? I know. And all of them I'm like, because here's the thing, you get to choose who you are. So maybe you
Yeah.
are religious just so you can find a religious like it's so funny that you put out who you are, but you don't put out who you fully are.
Yeah.
And then you're like very selective with a person. The climate has changed. Jackie's brother right now is in
Yeah.
the dating scene, and just hearing what he has to say about his experience, it feels so different because one of the things that he shared, which kind of blew my mind, was pre-pandemic, everyone just like or during the pandemic, everyone was kind of looking for just a partner, someone to have experiences with, and like when stuff started to slow down, that they would have someone to be with, and that's sort of when we met. But now, getting into the dating scene, everyone is doing all their kind of post-pandemic revenge shopping, traveling, doing the stuff that they couldn't do. And so now you're trying to find a partner in a climate where people are doing all the things that they were kind of bundled up not doing. So everyone's kind of in this confused state. There's more ghosting, there's more insecurities, there's more indecisiveness with that connection, which I found like when we were looking for each other back in our day, it felt
2 years ago.
I know, but it's changed so fast.
Okay,
the
no.
world's changed so fast.
I'm remembering now that we're talking about Bumble that I had the funniest Bumble like experience with this one guy.
What was it?
Okay. It was like it was like nothing. That's why it was so funny. But he was like he was a lacrosse player, which as you can imagine what a lax bro is like.
A lax bro?
That's what
they're
they're called. Yeah.
Lax bros.
Yeah. But
What is a
lacrosse
lax
players
bro?
are like I would say worse than hockey players.
In what sense?
And like we're
Sure. You want to
Yeah.
go like watch the game?
they're more like fuckboy-y.
Yeah.
But they're like preppy fuckboys.
Okay.
But not all of them obviously, but
'Cause
like
when I picture a Canadian hockey boy, I picture like, oh yeah, but we're gonna go smoke
Yeah.
a dart in the back, and
So
you
it's
want
not
to go
like
to
that.
the
It's
watch
like
the game.
it's like a guy from like the Hamptons with it's like fancy. Like lacrosse players are like more wealthy, I feel like, even though it's like an indigenous sport, which is stupid, but I feel like they're like more wealthy boys who like go to like Ivy League colleges and like are fuck boys. That's my idea. Not all of them obviously, but
Yeah.
some of them, that's my perception in my head. Anyways, I don't even remember his name, but like he would like set dates and then cancel dates and then but he was like
Because he was playing so much lacrosse.
he was super flirty, but then like also like kind of like grade 2 flirty where he'd like make fun of you and then
You're stupid.
yeah. and then we went on a date, a boxcar, and we talked and I was like he was just like and he was doing the same thing. He'd like make fun of me and then
What
like
would he say? Like,
I don't
you're
really-
ugly.
I don't really know. He'd be like, oh, so you're one of those girls who like wears like pants. I was like, but he was like attractive and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So you're like, I'll keep listening to you.
Yeah. And then we went on that one date and then I think he ended up like unmatching me, but then he matched me again. And then like
He sounds confused.
message, but that's my Bumble experience. So
It sounds like he has to like, he's got some mommy issues he has to deal with.
it was so interesting. And it was like kind of fun because you could like be like, whatever, like I could like fuck around, you know,
Yeah.
like I don't really, but it was, yeah. So that was Bumble for me. Did you have any Bumble dates?
Yeah, there was experience that I actually shared with you the other day where I was living in America for a little while, and so we lived out on this little ranch, and so what I'd have to do is change my geography to where I was and put it in the city that we were nearby in order to connect with more attractive people than those who were living out in the middle of nowhere. Not to say people who live in the middle of nowhere are not attractive, but the selection...
we are sexy as fuck.
Sexy as fuck. But, you know, backcountry Texas, the selection is very limited.
Sure. I hear you.
Right?
I hear you.
So I expanded my radius, found this really attractive human being who, you know, we hit it off, who lived in the city near us, and we ended up going on a date. And so the date actually partnered with a concert that a good friend of mine got VIP tickets to. And so I asked him, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I bring this person in? Or I said, hey, I have a date this night, but he really wanted me to join in on the concert because he thought it'd be a fun experience. And so I said, well, I got a date. He said, well, why don't you bring your date to this concert? And we're at the venue, and the girl has gotten to the destination. We've been chatting back and forth. She finally gets there. We meet up outside of the venue, and she's not anything that she looks like her profile, which is, you know, modern dating 101. If someone looks excellent in their profile, chances are you should probably just scale back those expectations. My expectations were high. They were not met. And now we're at this venue. I've got tickets for her to go see this very exclusive show, and I don't know what to do. And so we're talking, and, you know, wonderful person, but just, you know, it wasn't lining up between us. And in the moment, I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's just go to the show. It'd be fun to have a partner to go to the show. So we go into this show. There was not really a lot of chemistry, but I thought, you know what? It's like going to a movie.
Well, for you.
Not for me.
There wasn't chemistry for you.
But she was very excited about the show we were about to go see. So we go into the venue, and it's cool. There's like obviously this band playing. There's like an artist doing this live painting, and there's all of my friends there. And we go inside. And it's sort of like when you're in high school and you go on a date, when you think like going to the movies is a good idea because you're like, well, we get to spend like 3 hours together but not talk. So I thought this was going to be a good idea. We go into the venue, and as soon as we show up, there was another girl who I was trying to connect with and talking with in that show.
Boy.
It wasn't even like I was being a player. It was just coincidence that this had happened, and I'm like, ugh, no. And so the date ended up continuing to unfold. The girl was very sweet. Again, nothing really happened.
She was interested in you, though.
Yeah. I was a player boy. I said to you later,
just
boy.
a fuck boy.
And
do you play lacrosse?
And then, you know, ghosting happens.
And oh my God. Okay, you guys. Okay,
I hate ghosting.
He hates it.
I hate it.
Okay. I feel like everybody has been a culprit of ghosting,
Yes.
but I have felt so much shame around anything I've ever ghosted, even if like I just didn't.
Anything you've ever ghosted? Is that what you call them? Your things?
Anyone I've ever ghosted, even if it's just like I didn't respond hi back, because Mr. Anti-Ghosting over here is so upset about it.
I think ghosting.
He hates it so much, and now we're finding out live that you have actually ghosted someone.
I addressed that. I forget what I said. I think I'm moving back to Canada, so I don't think it's going to work.
Oh, that's not ghosting.
Yeah, I may have said that. I may have thought that and then not said it, which is probably...
Oh my God.
I think ghosting is probably
so
50% that, where people think the person on the other end knows how they feel, so they just don't message them. But this is a good segue.
You can never talk about ghosting ever again.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
We're going to talk about it right now.
No, we're not.
Because I've ghosted maybe 2 people. I've been ghosted numerous times. And here's the issue with ghosting. The person on the other end doesn't recognize that, okay, yeah, it's like, yeah, you're just not interested, or you're busy, or you're using the app like a game.
Yeah.
But that person has emotions and thought. That's what people do. They go on the app to feel validated, and then they don't even go on dates. There should be a dating app called Validate. Oh, that's pretty good.
That's
Validate.
very good. Okay, but I disagree.
There should be an app called Validate where you go on, you feel validated, people tell you're sexy, you can even go on a real date, but the vast majority of it's just ghosting back and forth.
Okay,
you just don't talk.
I disagree, because I used it kind of like a game, not so much like a game, but I wasn't matching with people and then not responding because I wanted validation. I was doing it because I was like, maybe this person's good, and I would just like swipe, and then we would match, and then they'd message me, and then I'd have, multiple messages.
Yeah,
And
and
I
how
would just-
good do you feel when you see all those messages?
But that's not why I was doing it.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't.
It was probably an ingredient in the soup.
It genuinely wasn't. At this point, I had gone through a very painful breakup.
Yes.
And I knew I was looking for something serious.
Uh-huh.
And what I was going through was like, maybe this person would be cool. And then we'd actually match. Because I'd just click the okay, like match with them, right? And then they'd click the okay. And then it'd come up. And then I'd have lots of messages in my inbox. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I actually only like the first one. And then I would just talk to the first one.
Then there should be an option on these apps that literally like just auto responds, sorry, not interested.
That's true, yeah. Because like unmatching is ruthless.
But I would rather to be unmatched than just someone stopped communicating. I'm like, did they die?
But I didn't stop communicating. I never started communicating.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Yeah.
think like if you're just a ghost to begin with, that's
Yeah.
fine. But when you're talking to someone, I always picture like if this was a legitimate date,
Yeah.
we're sitting at a table, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden I go serve the, like, hey waiter, can you grab something? And then I look in front of me and they're gone. I'd be like, what happened to her? Where'd
Yeah.
she go? They just disappear.
I think though also part of it is like
Validate.
no. Sometimes it is validation for sure. Some people just
Yes.
like that guy I was talking about on Bumble.
He was probably trying to validate
He
himself.
was trying to validate himself.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. But some people aren't doing it. Some people are just genuinely like living their lives. They forget to respond and then they realize they're like I have 4 other messages.
Well, that's what I mean. The app is a human to human connection, and yet it's treated like there's no human on the other side sometimes. You're just like, it's just text. Because there is no, you're literally messaging text, photos,
Yeah.
and people who are maybe not their true selves.
I also think there's just a thing of like not getting attached to the people you're messaging.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would do this thing where I'd look at the person's photo,
Yeah.
their interests, be like, oh, there's a photo of them surfing. Now they could be a surfer, or they could have gone once and had some really cool photos taken of them.
That's
And-
not true. He surfs.
Yes.
Big fat, big stinking liar.
Big fat. You've said fuck so many times in this podcast. The one time you said to yourself is when you say fat.
I don't want anyone to think that's bad.
What? Lying? Or being fat?
Being fat.
You censoring it makes it seem like you think it's bad.
I don't, but I was going to insult you with it, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The people who censor themselves are almost worse than the people who swear.
I wasn't going to swear. Big fucking liar.
So the big fucking liar over here ended up messaging girls with this idea of who I thought they were based on their
Yeah.
photos and pictures. And I built this whole I would do this thing where I play out this entire illustration in my head, be like, yeah, she wants a guy who like likes to surf, but he likes to adventure, but like maybe he's like really chill. He drinks coffees in the morning, like slow pour over. Like I would build who I was.
Oh my God.
I would do this thing where I'm like, yes, I am someone who likes sports, a little bit athletic. I'll do this, I do that. I'd picture all this thing, and then be like, hi. I would paint who the new
Hi.
Zach was, and then hi. Did you ever do that where you like would channel this person or create this picture of who this was who you were talking to?
Not at that time, because again, like I had just gone through a breakup that kind of like shattered my reality of who I was
Yeah.
and what I wanted, and I was like doing a lot of like attachment theory studying and shit. So I was prepared going into my online dating scene, if that makes sense. I was like, I know even if we go on a first date, I'm just seeing what this is happening. Like I had very
Yeah.
because I didn't want to go through that same kind of breakup again.
You had your target in sight.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was very
What do you do to prep for a date or dating? Like I went in blind,
which is fine.
like so much so that I needed friends to help me build up my profile because I
Yeah.
just didn't even know what to do.
Yeah. Well, if you're super good at it like me,
Yeah, you're so good at
my
it.
profile was amazing.
Especially the photo with you on a mustache and
So
sunglasses.
I put the only thing I cared about putting on my profile was the mustache photo because I was like, I want this person to know who I am. Like the weirdest part of me, I want them to know so I never feel ashamed of being weird.
It did the opposite. I thought I knew who you were. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's a dancer. She's flexible. She like hangs out with
Okay,
friends.
of
She's
course.
got good people. And
That's
then there's like this
always-
mustache photo, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is.
But that was the point. It was like we build this like perception of a
Yes.
human being on these, and we do it. Even movies
Douchey
do it.
lacrosse player.
Yeah.
I got him.
Exactly. But we do it in movies too. It's just like people are one dimensional, but people are not one dimensional,
No.
especially if you're a Gemini. So which
Fellow
I am.
Geminiers out there.
So
Yeah.
there's lots of sides to me, and I wanted
are.
you to see all the sides, and I wanted to not be like uncomfortable when I was doing a photo shoot and a mustache
Yeah.
later on if we ended up dating, you know?
Well, what it did was the first 3 photos set the bar high, and then the last photo set it so low that it kind of met in the middle. So when we went on a date, I had no idea who I was meeting.
Yeah, it was perfect,
It was
right?
very smart.
Right. Yeah.
Not highly recommended for everyone, but I do think it's recommended to not be so curated and
Yes.
not like what would be, let's say you have 5 photos.
Yeah.
What are those 5 photos?
Okay, here's the thing. So I think there's some baselines, like friends. Don't have all the photos as selfies. Have it of something you're passionate about. You know, like a photo of your face smiling. Not this. I'm doing the like look off into the distance, squint your eyes.
I've told
Look,
you
don't
know what
do
the
that.
strategy is for that, to like have a good like look off in
Look
the
at
distance.
a bird.
No, it's like you see a deer and they're like way off in the distance.
Oh.
A friend of mine who's like a model, he said that's the strategy. You just like you see a deer off in the distance and you're like kind of like squinting for it. See what I'm doing there? See how my eyes change?
Is that how you look at a deer? I'm like, deer! You see it?
I'm just like sexy
Yeah.
deer.
Sexy deer. Deers make me feel sexy.
Give me a sexy deer. look. I get it. Right. Yeah, if you saw a deer in the distance.
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
would be like, hey, babe, you see the deer?
but that would be a good photo for your grid. Yeah. With a mustache.
But I do think that we don't have to build a profile for what someone else likes. We just have to be who we fucking are. And then, listen. All right, listen. Here's the thing
I'm
about
listening.
dating.
Yeah.
You only have to find a single person.
I know.
One person. So it's going to be way fucking faster for you if you just are genuinely honest about who you are. Not like being like, I was, you know, and tell your whole life story. Like my dad. sorry. I got lost.
I was. Yeah, that's what my profile said.
Like
well, there's this.
my mom used to yell at my dad and I won gold in the
Sure,
in the
it's not
swimming.
a therapy.
No, you don't have to share everything about yourself. But if you're just more if you're just more honest I smacked to the microphone. I'm just really passionate about this.
Yeah.
If you're just more honest about who you are, you're going to filter out the people that don't maybe jive with you, you know? and then you're going to be left with the people that like maybe are more so of a match. So you're not going to go on fucking bad dates with people who don't actually like you, where you're trying to
like
be
lacrosse players.
Yeah. Oh, shut up.
and, Like,
Whoa,
you
shut
just gave this whole story of how you went on a bad date.
Okay.
But you just gotta be yourself, and then you're gonna find
But
the right
that's how
partner.
I found you.
Fair.
I was myself. I put a
And I was
mustache photo.
desperate.
He also never took me on a fancy date to a special concert. So
Good thing. I was stung by that experience.
we went on a walk.
We
for
went on
our
a walk
first date.
on your neck of the woods. It drove an hour to come down here.
He did. It was really sweet. Also, don't go on a walk in the woods for your first date.
Why? Was that not a good idea?
Terrible.
Why?
Are you kidding? You don't think the whole time going through my head was like, am I going to get abducted, murdered?
You don't think that was something I was thinking about?
Oh my God.
I'm in your neighborhood. There could have been some scary lacrosse player, bro, waiting in the woods to fucking
I just feel like
iron me.
It's true. I just feel like it's way more likely that I would get abducted than you, but
Why? What is that? Because you're prettier than me?
no, because normally it's women getting abducted.
On dates. Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
Dating's weird.
so you just have to be yourself.
Okay, so 5 photos. You want to have one that's kind of goofy, one with your friends, one that's not like super sexy.
Just a smiling,
Just
nice
like a
photo.
nice smiling photo.
Yeah, and then 2 that you like. Like
2 that you like. Would you put in like a LinkedIn profile photo, like you in a suit, or you looking professional, or someone's wedding, something like that?
wedding would be nice. I probably wouldn't do LinkedIn.
No, but like, yeah, I think
Like
we
a
were talking about this
headshot?
before. Like a photo, like if you're at like some wedding or special venue
Yeah.
dressed up, it allows the
Yeah.
the girl who's looking for you to
Sure.
almost picture like, oh, what would it look like if?
I was marrying him.
Does that
I've
play?
seen him for one time, but this is what it would look like if I was marrying him.
legitimately, we're always on these apps, back in our mind, everyone has at least 1% to 50 to 80% thinking about what would it be like if I married this person. Like that's an honest thing. You're literally thinking about that while you're on these apps.
I don't think I thought about that.
It's subconscious.
Sure.
It's not full front. Like
it's not full frontal.
Not full frontal.
Just partial nudity.
Partial. It's like 14A level marriage.
Gonna cry.
So you're looking for. So those are the photos. As far as communication goes, I'm asking you because I obviously got ghosted a lot. What is the best communication?
So I think I messaged you first. I did.
I wish we could go back. And
I
look.
did. I did message you first.
What
I was
did you
like,
say?
tell me about Texas or something. Because you had a prompt
Yeah.
that you were like, oh, I lived in Texas, whatever. And I was like, tell me about Texas.
You're like low-key dance with Matthew McConaughey at like some bar.
Okay, so now we're going to throw out your celebrity friends.
Yeah, me and Matthew. We're good buds. That was a prompt of mine. I wanted to flex a little bit in there.
And it worked.
But
yeah, I like something like sometimes high works, but it, you know, I find asking questions is the best way to go. Like, oh, they are genuinely not. If someone's a dancer, please don't ask them like, oh, what kind of dance do you do? How many splits can you do? Oh, you're a
people ask you that? How many splits can you do?
Oh, you're a dancer.
Winky face.
Do you know?
Face?
I've been getting that comment since I was probably in grade 5.
No.
Like
creepy grade 5 years.
Maybe not grade 5. Maybe it's like grade 7.
No, but grade but grade like when you're 12 years old, all you think about is sex.
Yeah, they're like, oh, can you do the splits? And I was like, ew.
Yeah, but
but ew.
When you're that young, all you think about is sex. But the one thing you don't want to think about is actually sex. You're like sex, but then you like see a photo.
Yeah, you're like human
nope,
body parts.
Not ready. Yeah, exactly. Ew,
disgusting.
Yeah, so yucky.
Anyways, you had very good banter.
So you say ask good questions, but then there's how many questions do you ask? Like one of the things I was very self-conscious. One. Well,
you start with one. You don't ask them like 10 questions. Right
no,
out of the
but
gate.
like one of the things I was self-conscious about is how many questions do I ask this person before it starts to feel like you're on some quiz show.
Yes, it's a good point because sometimes you do feel like you're being interrogated.
Yeah,
and that I think is this like. I think people get that wrong. People think you should only be asking questions about the other person. Not true. You should also be sharing things about yourself. So what you're looking for is you ask them a question, you kind of answer, they ask you a question, you kind of answer, like it's a back and forth kind of thing.
Right. And then when do you slide first? What's the step to go into text?
I would say like after maybe a couple days.
Right.
I'd be like, or 2 days or something. I'd be like, I really like talking to you. I would love to go on a date with you. Can I have your number and we can like figure out if it feels good for you, like want to figure out when and where we could meet up.
Here's the thing that I was always dealing with was I don't want to come off too strong,
right.
But obviously we're both here with the same intention.
Of course, yeah.
And then if I came off strong, I'd be like, hey, like, let's go on a date.
Yeah.
Ghosted. And so I'm like, why are we here?
But
you here just to banter? Do you want me to just ask questions about your dance?
No.
And how you can do the splits?
But it's good though, because you don't want to date that person.
No, I didn't.
You're glad that she ghosted you.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
But I did, when
you're like, no, I wanted to date her.
Well, obviously when you're messaging the person, you start planning out like your whole life together.
So try not to do that, I would say, is my first piece of advice.
Yeah, it was probably the wrong thing to do.
Try not to do. Just remember that even if they look like your dream person, they might not be.
And for us,
they
was...
could
Hey!
collect teeth or something.
They could collect teeth. A teeth collector.
They could really throw you off.
Yeah, don't date teeth collectors. Bad experience.
Unless you are one, in which case you're probably wonderful, beautiful, and please continue as long as you get them from a good place.
Why was that a thing as children that we were so excited about some person going under our pillow and taking our teeth? Like, it's kind of creepy if you think about it. To be celebrated.
Well, I wasn't excited about the teeth being taken. I just wanted the loony.
The loony.
We're Canadian.
That's our currency over here.
Loonies and toonies.
The weighted money was nice. I don't know if I'd feel as excited about a bill. Even if it was like more money, I think I liked the fact of having like a toonie under my pillow for a tooth. Toonie for a tooth.
Tooth for a toonie, sir?
Yeah, teeth collector is weird. That's basically what
we
the
also
tooth
up
fairy
in
is.
Canada, we don't have tooth fairies. We have the tooth collector.
Talking about teeth just get me so fired up about dating. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, what was the question? Or the answer or the statement?
How many dates does it take before you know that this is the right person? Or when you can actually make that legitimate, you know?
Oh, I think it's different for everybody. How many dates did you feel like you were like, okay?
Probably messaging. I was like, well, I'm going to marry this human.
We're learning a lot about Zach right now.
No, it was the first date. It felt great. Obviously, Jackie was terrified the whole time that she was going to get murdered. Then we got to the parking lot, super awkward.
It was.
And we were both like, hey,
Yeah.
And then we both went into our cars, went our separate ways.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was in the car thinking about everything I did wrong on the date
Yeah.
and everything I did wrong in my entire dating life and everything wrong I did in my relationship life.
And actually, I was just super awkward at the end of the date because I was like, I don't know if I should hug him or I don't know if he wants to go on a date, so I'm not going to say anything. So I'm just going to walk into my car and then I'm just going to leave him and be like, okay, bye.
And then in my head, I was like, do I message her? No, I don't message her. No, because if I message her, it comes off too strong and that I seem desperate and I don't want to be a desperate guy because she'll probably ghost me if I'm desperate. So I'm just not going to say anything. What do? I fucking suck.
And then I messaged him.
And then we went on our second date.
So don't do that.
You
At
can
the
get
end
in
of
your
the
head
date.
so fast.
Yeah, it was. I'm so sorry I did that to you. I was so uncomfortable.
No, but dating is this thing where you go so into your head about the other person that like you
I'm
don't.
back.
Are you good? Do you want? Is it tight?
Yeah.
it's
Sometimes my
tight.
microphone just swings around.
Yeah. Just stop touching your mic. You've been fondling it this whole chat.
Know that no date is gonna mess up who you are. Like you're a good person, probably, hopefully.
Or if you're a teeth collector, a little weird.
You know, and just keep that deep down there and know that whether this works out or it doesn't work out, you can make yourself happy. And they're
It's
just
called
there.
masturbation. You don't need anybody in your life.
You can be alone forever.
Yeah.
You can make your own self happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got 2 hands and a mouth.
and some feet. I wear
You're
socks now, by the way.
disgusting.
I'm disgusting.
You're disgusting.
I'm disgusting.
You're really gross.
I am kind of gross.
No, he's not. I love him.
So now, after 2 years of that awkward date, we are now in I'd say a pretty secure
We're in a business relationship.
Business relationship.
Yeah, we're not together, but we do podcasts together.
We're like the mullet of relationships, which is like business in the front, party in the back.
But we don't party in the back.
All right. All right.
No, okay, we're in
There's a lot of party in the back.
We're
What? My back end is a full. It's like Ibiza back there.
I like to pinch it.
Did you know Ibiza is actually Ibiza?
Yes, I did.
That's how you say
but
it?
everyone who says Ibiza, I judge immediately. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're
you're a
like-
douchebag. You're a lacrosse playing douchebag.
Like, who are you? like you have a list
I
or
went to
something?
Ibiza.
Are you Mike Tyson?
And to Ibiza.
Ibiza.
And that's Margarita.
It's also the people who are like, hey, like I went to Europe. I went to Budapest.
Yeah.
You're
It's
like,
always it's the people who think they're better than you. That's
you
what it is.
immediately, as soon as you say a country
Yeah.
correctly, you're like, you're a fucking douche.
But then okay, so I'll get into a position where I'm like, I know that locals would prefer it if you said it the way that you're supposed to say it, but everyone who says it like that sounds like a superior douchebag. So then I'm like,
Yeah.
I just won't say anything. I'll just be like, that one country, it's party country, and then
Yeah.
I'll make someone else say it because
It
I'm
has, like,
like,
a
I don't
thought in it.
I don't know
know.
what to say.
Oh, I do the same thing.
Or like croissants. I do this. Like, is it croissant? Is
Oh my
it a
God.
croissant?
When
Is it
someone
like
goes croissant, I'm just like, who are you? It's a crescent, okay?
it's a croissant?
It's a chrysanthemum.
like, what? But I just won't say it. 'Cause
I
I'm
won't
like,
say it either. I'll just avoid saying
yeah,
words.
I want the fluffy dough curly ball.
It's so funny. My vocabulary in my journal is so articulate, but as soon as I write in front of people, I just choose the words I only know how to spell. So I
that
like go
dog
straight
was
to like,
fast.
yeah, I go straight to being like a 6-year-old in front of people. Zach is quick. IUCK.
You're gonna have to deal with a lot of tangents from us. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that's why also messaging just drives me crazy because I'm like, I'm not really the most articulate with messaging.
I thought you were very articulate. I thought you were wonderful.
I wonder if Chat GPT has helped with dating.
Yeah, you can just be like, what do I respond?
But probably. I wonder if people are using that now.
We should try it.
You want to go date again? And you find some lacrosse playing Budapest, Ibiza, Pisha.
Yes.
Dating
Oh,
is
hard
hard,
and confusing.
but you shouldn't get so in your head about it.
Well, you can if you want to.
You can't.
I feel like, okay, here's the ultimate life thing, I feel like. Okay.
I'm ready. Blow my mind.
It's going to work out. Okay? Just keep focusing on yourself. Keep trying things. Keep failing. You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine.
You're going to find your partner if you want one. They are out there. You're going to be okay.
It's more unlikely that you'll be alone
Yes.
in the long term than it is you'll be with someone.
Unless you want to be alone.
Yeah, unless you're intentionally
Yes.
being alone.
Yes.
Which that's something to also gauge. If you're going
Yeah.
on dates and you're not connecting with the person
Yeah.
and you've been on so many dates, you're not connecting with so many people, that might just mean you need to work on yourself.
Totally.
Right? Like you went
Right.
through that. You worked on yourself. You also researched what types of connections there are, different attachments. Can you just share quickly about these attachment theories? You bring them up all the time, and I'm always just like, I'm attached.
Little does Zach know I like joined a whole like
Called
school and like did courses on it
a
and
school.
like
You went to the school for attachment.
it's called Personal Development School. It is the best resource. If you feel like you're like, what the fuck, my relationships are so weird,
Yeah.
go take
Oh my God, all
the
the time.
attachment style quiz
Yeah.
on Personal Development School. It's going to blow your mind. And then go watch her YouTube videos for your attachment style. It is like someone is reading your mind. I did it for me and my ex at the time because I was trying to figure out what was going on. And she could literally articulate like, in this part of the relationship, when you get here, they might pull away and they might start to dismiss your feelings.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? Yeah. It was bonkers. Anyways, okay, so attachment styles. There are 4. There's obviously the secure, which even if you're secure, you might lean a certain way. So it's still important to know which way you lean because it comes
Yeah,
up.
you're like by attachment.
Yeah, you're like, it's a spectrum.
Oh, so what area on the spectrum are you?
Well, before I worked on it, I was full fearful avoidant, which I
The
was.
worst.
No, it is the worst
It
one.
is the worst.
It's the worst
You
one.
suck.
It's normally those people have gone through like a lot of trauma in their childhood.
Right.
And so what happens is with a fearful avoidant, you get, so there's 4. So there's secure, anxious, dismissive, and either disorganized or fearful.
Okay.
So, and the fearful, I'll explain, is a combination of dismissive and anxious depending on the moment. So I'll flip flap.
Flap.
I'm gonna flip flap all over the place. As soon as I say this, you'll be like, "Oh shit."
That's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will be like, "I need space," and I'll shut down. Like we'll get into a conflict. I'll be like, "Oh, I can't. I have to be alone. But I'll also be like, "Oh, I need connection. And
Yeah.
I'll fucking whiplash back and
Oh my
forth.
God, I don't know how to deal with it sometimes.
Really?
Well, when you're flopping around the both, sometimes it's difficult to deal with.
Of course. Okay, I didn't know if you were being serious or not.
No, it is because then I'm in my
I
like
know.
dumb mind where I'm like, she's
Totally.
happy, she's hot, and I'm flopping it everywhere.
But you see what I mean? How
Yeah.
it's crazy how.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
so that a fearful avoidant is basically scared of attachment. Like
Right.
their attachments are all just like mixed between dismissive, which is dismissing a lot. The easiest way to explain that is you're dismissing someone's feelings. So they think they probably grew up where they felt like they were such a burden that their parents were just like, if they got hurt, they'd be like, you're not hurt, or you're not hungry, or you're blah, blah, blah. Like they would be like kind of neglected in childhood.
Yeah.
Which means now they feel like all human emotions they can just neglect. Like if someone's mad at them, they'll just be like, well, fuck that. Like they shouldn't deal with their own emotions. Like whatever. Like it's very like
right. So like
cut
that
off.
that tough parent.
Yes.
Who's like suck it up.
And not all dismissives come off as tough though. Some of them are kind. Like they can be kind.
Right.
But as soon as you try and get like emotional with them, they kind of like pull away.
Is that because they didn't also experience emotional connection as a child?
Yes.
And it was like, tough love. And that
Yes.
tough love translates to
Yes.
this
Yes.
dismissive.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
what's the other one?
So then there's anxious, which
Right.
anxious people will.
This is still the same attachments? Like
No,
dismissive,
this is a
anxious?
different. No,
Okay,
this is
so
a
they're
different one.
dismissive.
And then there's also anxious.
Okay.
And anxious is like you're hyper aware of the other person's feelings. So you're always kind of like, are they mad at me? Are they thinking about me? Are they, and you like need to be with them all the time, and you need a lot of reassurance from that person. And you like, that's more of an anxious attachment.
I think I might navigate into anxious.
I think you do. But I do think you're secure. But I think you lean anxious.
Can you be both?
Yeah.
Can you be bi?
That's what I mean. It's a spectrum.
Oh, okay.
So like when you do the quiz, it'll be like you're 13% fearful, you're 42% secure, you're 30% whatever.
Right.
And it'll tell you. But
when
yeah.
you're dating, do you have this lens where you're like, yeah, they're fearful?
I did. I have this problem, and it's actually a fearful avoidance do this because I don't know why, but like they like want to know everything about everything. They go so hard into a topic. I went so fucking hard into attachment style and dating because I was like, I'm figuring this shit out. I'm not doing this again. And I was just like, I could analyze like responses and things, and which I don't actually think is a healthy thing to do. But but it's important to know. But you don't have to like hyperanalyze everything. Right. But yeah, so then there's fearful, which flip-flops back and forth between like needing reassurance but then dismissing someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then there's secure, who has a
secure.
healthy attachment. They know how to set healthy boundaries. They know how to communicate properly. They know when to remove themselves. They know how to stay connected with their partner.
I
That's
think I flip-flop between fearful. Sorry, not fearful.
Yeah.
Fearful?
No, anxious.
And secure.
Yeah, you got to go flip-flop.
A flip-flop. What do you flip-flop again?
Fearful.
Fearful and...
No, I flip-flop between dismissive and anxious.
Okay.
But so that makes me a fearful, but I think I've worked on it more so now that I'm becoming more secure for sure.
Is it like, I 100% see that you're definitely becoming more secure. Is it like horoscopes where you have to like align your sign with the person?
Kinda. Well, no. What you're always looking for is either a person who is secure or someone who's working on becoming secure.
Right.
But
so security is the one element to glue yourself to. If you see that,
if you see it, yeah. Because when two disorganized attachment styles are going to have trouble with each other, and a lot of the time, a dismissive attracts an anxious because this dismissive is like shutting down, they're like dismissing, and then the anxious is like oh, we got to stay connected, I need a lot of reassurance, I need to be with you all, I need like we need to know your feelings.
When you're in your dismissive, my anxious comes out.
Yes. So but that's just for us, but some people who are just dismissive and are just anxious, they will attract each other,
right?
And that causes a toxic relationship. Excuse me as I throw up back here. Thank you for letting me talk about this. I have this it's just so fascinating.
It is so fascinating.
Yeah. But and you'll start watching, if you actually start like learning about what the traits are of each attachment style, you can be like, I see why those people are having trouble. And it doesn't mean that they can't work.
Right.
You just have to be aware and work on those things.
Well, this also probably translates to friendships.
It does.
And connections with everything.
1,000,000%. It does. It does. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what attachment theory is.
I think that's why I love the dogs so much, because they're pretty secure, and then only in their anxiousness, I actually find really nice. They're like, does he love me? Can he give me a belly rub? I just want a belly rub.
Yeah.
Does he love me? I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, I love
advantage
you.
of this. I'm gonna manipulate you.
Yeah.
Make you think that I don't love you, so you give more belly rubs.
It's really mean.
It is mean. I don't know why I do that. Sometimes I don't know. It must be the fearful avoidant in me.
You're an anxious.
That's my anxiety. So dating, I think these are some cool tools for you to rule.
Cool tools. Personal development school.
Check it out.
This is not sponsored.
This is not sponsored, but
I did reach out to her once, but she never responded. So
did you?
She's from like Ottawa or something.
Would you reach out to? Hey, can you hi, who's your first sponsor?
I think you're very cool. I learned so much from you. I've changed my life because I got
I should flip-flop around.
I said dismiss it.
Anyway, that's us in a nutshell. Tune in to the next episode where we
Of-
discuss more things.
What is this podcast called? Stories for our children or lessons for our children?
It's
Or letters to our children?
Lessons for our children.
Letters to our children. Lessons. Was this a lesson for our children?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how
About
you-
dating. Here's
about
how you date.
Here's how you date. And you are our children. Our beautiful little chickens.
Yeah. So if you wanna go date somebody, go find them, have fun, and we'll see you guys in another episode.
And just remember, it's going to work out.
It's gonna work out.
And we love you.
There's
You're our little children.
insecurity will always override some sense of security in your head,
It's hard.
but in the long term, like, yeah, with our first date, insecurity was overriding all the time.
Yeah.
If only I knew where we were at now,
Yeah.
I probably could have just chilled the F out.
Yeah. He turned into an ass cat.
You turn into an ass cat.
For those listeners, he's wearing a hat that says ask, but it kind of sounds like ass hat.
Yeah.
So he's a big old ass cat.
I'm a big old ass
We're in a
cat.
big old love relationship.
Yeah.
And you are our children.
Love you guys.
Love you.
See you in another video.
Bye.
That I wear.